I hope you are revising all the things, right?
Yes, ma'am, I've revised.
So let's just start. Hmm. Okay. So now we are going to do, okay, this is your greenhouse effect. You already know this, right? But what happens, for example, this is a normal day, right? So what is happening in normal days, only few portion is, only 75% of uh, heat is being absorbed, right? So it will be like affecting, of course, it will be affecting the earth, but when it enhance means increase greenhouse effect. That means over here it is more than 75. So you can see that heat is not good for us, right? So enhanced heat greenhouse effect is basically, for example, over here, if 75% of energy is being trapped, okay, but enhanced means it is being increased, right? It can be like 85, 95. So when tell me, like, is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Ma'am, it's a good thing since it's absorbing more heat.
Huh? Okay, if I'll keep you in a room where the temperature is too high, how you will feel?
Ma'am, it'll be, of course, I feel really exhausted.
Right. So similarly with Earth also, right? Earth,
Ma'am,
you can,
but it absorbs the heat, na?
yeah, it absorbs the, over here it is absorbing 75%, but here it is
Yeah.
absorbing 85. See, everything is okay in its limit, right? When you get extra of everything, it's always a negative impact, right? It always cause negative impact, right?
Ma'am, but I
Hmm.
have a question. But when an object absorbs more heat,
Hmm.
isn't it good for the 85% guys than the 75% guys?
No, see, 75 is okay. Even 75 is not also okay. Like 50, 60 is okay, I think. Okay, but 85 is, it is making our earth warmer. So what will happen? Ice will melt. So the animals will feel, exhausted, because people can keep ourselves hydrated, but animal cannot keep them hydrated, right? It will start, like, what will happen basically? Your mountains will start melting. The snow over there, it start melting. It will cause floods and all that. All the water in the river, it will dry up. So extra heat is not a good thing, right?
Yes, ma'am, but isn't it absorbing the energy?
No, it's not absorbing. It's basically greenhouse is trapping. So basically, usually what
Oh,
happens,
understood. Okay, understood. Yes, understood.
yeah, it's not absorbing, it's trapping for the earth. Like, it's trapping, and that will make our earth warmer. It's not absorbing. It's not like that he is taking energy. No, he is trapping the air. Sorry, it is trapping the heat energy and making our earth warmer, right? And because of this, lots of problem are coming. So enhance greenhouse effect. So basically, an enhanced greenhouse effect leads to global warming. Global warming means your globe means your earth is getting warm. So it is global warming, which cause an increase in average temperature of the earth. See, earlier it was 75. So whatever the temperature was, now if it is absorbing more radiation, then the temperature will increase. This will cause melting of the glaciers. You know, glacier, the part of mountains, right? So glacier,
Yes.
CO2 has become the main source for the greenhouse effect due to increased combustion and deforestation. So why your greenhouse effect is increasing? Because of the CO2. CO2 is the main reason. Others are also the main reason, but CO2 is the main reason. Why? Because combustion is there. Combustion means that whenever, for example, you want to have the petrol and everything. So somewhere it is a combustion, like fuel is being burned, only then your vehicles are running. Right, in factories, if you are running your factories, also they are causing pollution, right? So combustion means basically burning, right? So everywhere, if you want to run industries, there also you need fuel and all that. So in that case also, if you are cooking something, you are burning some, you are using refrigerator and all that. The refrigerator which is cooling, basically it is burning the energy, only then it is cooling, right? And deforestation is you are cutting down all the trees. So who will absorb CO2? If you are cutting all the trees, so CO2 definitely it will go into atmosphere and that will cause problem. So this is what. Okay. So
Ma'am, can you just once again explain combustion? Actually, I could not understand it.
yeah, combustion is basically burning, right? So for example, you are riding vehicle, right? So there also your diesel and petrol, whatever it is burning. Only then your vehicle is starting, right? And in industries, your fuel, you are using fuel. So that is also burning and it is causing air pollution. And similarly, if you're cooking something, you are burning the woods and all that, right? That will also cause combustion, like the pollution will be there. So combustion and see, combustion, okay. But deforestation also as well. Why? Because the plants are like trees are being cut off. So there is
Yes,
like
ma'am. So who will absorb the
who
CO2
will
carbon
absorb CO2.
dioxide
So
which
that's why,
and then
yeah.
tree
And
exerts oxygen?
yeah, because of combustion and deforestation, your greenhouse effect increases. Why? Because that, like this combustion and deforestation, they give that energy to the greenhouse that they can absorb more heat. They can stop more heat. So what they do earlier, their capacity was 75%. Now it increased to 80 to 85%. Okay. So now you will write
Understood.
how enhance greenhouse effect our earth. Okay, yeah, what is the effect of greenhouse? You can just write it down. What is the effect of, yeah, what are effects of enhanced greenhouse? Okay, what are the effects of enhanced greenhouse effect? Okay,
Ma'am, so I'll write the entire thing, right?
yes,
Ma'am.
yes, sir. You have to write
So
entire
I have
thing.
to write the entire thing,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. I was not audible. I said yes.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I have written it down.
Done? So are done? Yes. So can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So now basically we'll do water pollution. Okay. So ma'am, what is water pollution? Okay. So water pollution is the contamination of water, already know, right? By substances which are harmful to living organism, right? Contamination of water by the substances which are harmful to living organism. Okay, so these are basically the pollutants. Okay, okay, pollutants of water and their sources. So first is industrial. So how industries are getting polluted? Basically hot water, chemicals, and harmful metals. Okay, so industrial is basically the pollutant. Okay, domestic detergents and all that, these are like domestic, how domestic peoples are like domestic area is getting affected, like detergents, oils and all that, they are the pollutant which are polluting them. And sewage, the fecal matter, food waste, detergents, this and this, garbage, food waste, plastic and all that. And agriculture, fertilizer, pesticides and weedicides. Okay, fertilizers, you know what are fertilizers? Basically the one that will
Yes,
make the
ma'am.
soil fertile. What are pesticides?
Ma'am, which kill the pests
Yes.
other.
Insects and
And
all that. Yes.
yes.
Harmful insects. Weedicides?
Ma'am, which kill the weeds who stop the other plants from growing.
Yes. Very good. So basically you can see industrial waste, domestic waste, sewage, garbage, agriculture waste. Okay. So chemical runoff from pollutant water bodies, chemical penetrate through the soil into the groundwater. Okay. So all those things, they are the basically the pollutants and their sources. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So first we will write this. First write what is water pollution and the pollutants. Okay. Swar, you are on mute.
No, I'm asking. I'm nothing. I'm not asking anything.
Okay.
Yes, I'm written it.
Okay. Now you are going to write. First, we will do the impact of water pollution. Okay. So, water pollution affect plants, animals, humans, and the environment. Okay. So, first, what is the impact? Like this is like it causes diseases. Okay. So, sewage carries microorganisms known as pathogens, which can cause diseases in human beings like cholera, typhoid, and jaundice. Okay. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Next is disruption of the food chain. Okay. Basically, you know what is food chain? Like one organism is being eaten by other organism, right? So there is a, for example, this is insect and frog is eating, and frog is being eaten by, for example, lion. Okay. If you will kill all the frog, okay, then what will happen? The food chain will be interrupted, right? Or for example, water pollution was caused in this river. Okay, all the fish over there died. Then what? Like it will affect the thing, because now what frogs will be eating, right? And because of starvation, all the frogs will start dying, right? And now because of that, like lions, like now what lions will be eating, right? So because of that, like all the food chain will be disturbed, right? So
Understood now.
aquatic organisms consume pollutants and are eaten by other organisms in the food chain. So sometimes what happens, for example, fish, she ate the pollutant, okay, because in water it was available, so she ate it. So similarly, she falls sick, okay, and she was not well. and she was being consumed by the frog. So what will happen? Automatically frog will also fall sick, right? Because he ate this rotten, or you can say not well fish, right? So aquatic organisms consume pollutants and are eaten by other organisms in the food chain. These toxic reduce lifespan and even cause an early death of these organisms, thereby disrupting the food chain. Clear? Next is eutrophications. Ma'am, what is eutrophication? Pollutants such as fertilizers as nutrition. Pollutants such as fertilizers act as nutrients and increases the growth of algae in the water bodies. So basically, what is happening? Just a minute. Huh? Okay. So, eutrophication. So, pollutants such as fertilizers act as nutrients and increase the growth of algae in the water body. So, what happens? Basically, this is water, right? So, when, for example, this is a land, crop is being grown over here. So, water will be like, along with water, fertilizer will be washed out, right? So, they will go to river bodies. And what will happen there because of this fertilizers? Because this fertilizer is a nutrient for algae, right? So algae will be growing, right? So high concentration of algae prevent light preventions and reduce. This is basically this is and reduce the oxygen level required for the aquatic organism, leading to death of the entire water body. So what happens because of this fertilizer, which was coming from the like you can say farmland or anywhere, because of that nutrients was given to algae and algae started growing. Okay, so this is the space, this is river, and algae started growing. So what happens basically, water absorb oxygen, right? And the if fish and all that, they are living here there, they take oxygen dissolved in the water, right? So if, for example, if this is the algae, 85% was being absorbed, right? But for example, algae started growing everywhere like this. So what will happen? Automatically, what will happen? It will reduce the oxygen level required for the other aquatic organism because of this. Because if they'll not get oxygen, then automatically they will die, and that is known as eutrophication, right? Okay. Next is decreased soil fertility. Okay. So, ma'am, how soil fertility is being decreased? When contaminated water enters the soil. Okay, because rivers are being rivers are being polluted, right? So that water will be used for irrigation, right? So when contaminated water enters the soil, it changes the acidity level of the soil. The change in acidity reduces the fertility of the soil, harming the growth of organisms such as plants and worms. So automatically, if you see, contaminated water is not useful even for living organism and also for the crop production and all that. So automatically, because water is being absorbed by the soil, so that's why it reduces the soil fertility. And that, see, if soil is not good, then how the crop plant will be good, right? If your soil is not fertile and your soil is not healthy, then of course the plant that you will grow over there, that will also not healthy, right? So harming the growth of organisms such as plants and worms. There are lots of worms, earthworm and all that, that grows inside the soil. So automatically, if your soil is not good, then automatically the growth of plants and worms will also not good. Clear? So you can get the question like this: how water pollution affect food chain? So you are going to write this, or they'll ask you how contaminated water affects soil, right? So they can ask you anything, or they can just give you the question like what are the impact of water pollution, or they can give you like how water pollution disrupt the food chain. So you should be ready with your answers. So you will write hashtag impact of water pollution. Then first you will write disease, then about disease, then second, then third, and fourth.
Okay. Ma'am, I've written it down.
Oh, good. Okay. Now, basically, impact of pollution on building and monuments. Okay, we are done with both type of things. This is basically the basic pollution. I have not written that it's air pollution or water pollution, so it will include all type of pollution. Okay, so how pollution impacts building and the monument. Okay, so air and water pollution have an impact not just on living organism but on monuments and building as well. Okay, so in three ways it affects. First, water vapor mixes with nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide, forming acid rain. Okay, so you can get a question over here as well, like how acid rain is formed. So when water vapor, which is present in atmosphere, mixes with nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide, they form acid rain. Okay, you can get question like this. So you should remember how acid rain is for. Sorry, cause. Next, this corrosion you have already done, so you already know, right? This corrode and discolor marble and is known as marble cancer. Okay, so if they'll ask you what is marble cancer, so you will write like this: when acid rain corrodes and discolor the marble, it is known as marble cancer. So it's not compulsory, it's just because of acid rain only, like there are some other factor as well. So when marble is being corroded and it gets discolor, that is known as marble cancer. So first thing is that what is how pollution is impacting the monument. It is creating acid rain, and because of acid rain marble cancer is being caused. Okay, next, suspended particulate matter, dust and soot deposited on outer surface of the building. This results in the change of color of the building. So what happens basically, the dust and all that, it get deposited, and sometimes you have seen that, you know, your walls and all the walls of the outer side of your building become blackish, right? How? This basically, it is changing the color. It is due to the dust particles and all the particles, they get collected over the wall and they change the color of the building. Okay, the second is change in color of the building. Third, global warming. So,
Ma'am, but I have a question.
yes,
But how is air and water pollution doing it? I mean, causing it.
see, you can see over here, see, it is a mixture. It's not air and water pollution. Over here, you can see, you know, air is
Yes, yes.
water
And water
pollution.
vapor mixes, and
Hmm.
water vapor is a gas. So
Hmm.
that
No,
is
but
air or water.
yeah,
That
and
is. But
see,
the second one.
okay, second one, suspended particles of dust and the soot deposited on the earth. So basically, this is not, see, the question is pollution. So it is not specific that this will cause due to air pollution or water pollution. Here it was a mixture, but here it is only air pollution. Okay, so you have not mentioned here, you have just written pollution. So pollution can be water or maybe air, right? So here you have not written anything. That's why it is just because of air pollution, because the dust particle and all that, they belongs to air, right? Next is unequal temperature leads to expansion of material which can cause cracks in stone monuments. Okay, so for example, you can see this is a crack. I'll zoom it. You can see the crack, right? So because of temperature, because sometimes it's very hot, sometimes it's become very cold. So unequal temperature is there, right? Because of that, what happens? Cracks start cracking, the monuments start cracking, and this is increased by the effect of global warming. So when your global warming increases, it leads to high increase in temperature, and because of crack starts, or the monuments or the buildings start cracking, like you can see the effect of crack over there. Okay, so you will write impact of pollution on building monuments, so first, second and third. Okay, so you will write like this, Swar. Like first you will write the heading, like this is the last thing you are writing, that is for today. Impact of pollution on building. Then you will write first, you will write marble cancer. Then you will write everything. Second, you will write change in the color of building. Okay. Third, you will write uh, cracks in stone monuments. Okay. And you will write
Yeah.
the
So first I have
explanation.
to write marble cancer. Then I'll write everything,
Yeah. Then second
and
will
then I
be
have to write change in
change
the
in
color of the buildings, and then
hmm,
everything.
cracks. Yes. And then cracks in stone monuments.
Okay. That's all I will.
Okay, sir. Good. Mhm. Okay, so basically we are done with this. We'll be doing question answer not tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be doing maths. After that we'll do it. Okay. Okay, so this is basically you have done this global warming. You already know what is global warming. Increase in temperature of the Earth atmosphere due to increase in greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, water vapor, and CFS is known as global warming. You have written this. Greenhouse effect, the trapping of sun's radiation in Earth atmosphere which keeps the Earth warm, that is known as greenhouse effect. Okay, and eutrophication, the nutrient enrichment of water bodies which result in excessive algal growth and deposition of dissolved oxygen, that is known as eutrophication. Okay.
Ma'am, so atrophication enriches the water bodies also, and also in and also grows the algae also. So
Yes. See, water bodies are getting nutrients from the fertilizers, and that nutrition basically algae is taking, and algae is growing because, of course, fishes are not going to eat fertilizers, right? Only algae eats fertilizers, and because of that, they grow. Because if they are getting nutrition, they'll grow, and because of that, it leads to death of the like less oxygen is being taken
the
by the water
aquatic
bodies.
animals, the
Yes,
death of the
and that affect aquatic animals because they are unable to breathe, and that sometimes leads to their death as well. Okay, so you have done all those things. So that's it for this chapter. So just quickly, whatever we did
in
today,
this
just
2 days.
yeah, in just these 2 days we completed it. But yeah,
Ma'am,
I
in
think
understanding quadrilaterals, you almost took 3 weeks, and for
hmm,
this,
yes. Why we took 3 weeks now? Because I started from in between, and then we started making notes because that was the first time. Like, and half of the chapter somebody else taught you, and half I taught. So that comfort level comes only then when we start things from very starting. So because as you can see, we have I think for this chapter as well squares, we have done two exercise I guess in 2 days, na 2 or 3 days.
yes.
Okay, so yeah, like we can see that quadrilateral we took at least 2 weeks, but hopefully squares will be completing soon. And on Sunday I'll take your test. Okay, I'll just let you know what the schedule Sunday or Monday, whenever it will be. So
Okay,
prepare
ma'am.
yourself.
So
I
thank you,
have to
ma'am.
take, yeah. So I have to take test for which chapter?
Ma'am, understanding quadrilaterals.
Yes. And okay. I also, I took, yeah. Metals and non-metals. I have taken your test. No, na?
No, ma'am.
That also I have to take, right? Okay. So let's just plan accordingly. I'll just